everyone, it's Louise with Louise McCare, and welcome to my channel. And I'm glad you're here, especially with this creation, because I hope I'm going to be back making Lazy Susans again. Because truth be told, if you've been following me, I do a lot of Lazy Susans, and they're like one of my staples. And I've been getting my Lazy Susans from IKEA. And the last batch I got, I purchased 8 of them. And the first 2 that I did, this is how I was going for a really cutie pinky color, but I don't know if you can see this. Can you see that? It is warped and bowed. Yeah, horrible, horrible. And I tried, I'll be back in a second. Just so you know, with this one here, I have always taped the back like this. So this one is another one that I am going to resin. But this was bowed from the summer. It's still a little bit, but it is passable. And I'm going to resin this. What I was showing you there was how I have the back tape. I'm not going to move this because it's centered. And if you've been watching me, you know how much challenge I have about centering things. So I called up IKEA. Actually, let me talk and walk here. I'm going to do a bloom on this. I'm going to use my Glidden 6011N. And in the bloom technique, your first pillow, your first color down, your first paint down is your pillow. In this case, I'm using the Glidden. I haven't used this in a few days. And if you notice, I'm not even going to stir it because I don't want to manufacture any bubbles in here. Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and pour this down. I reached out to IKEA in their, and oh gosh, something just fell in their live chat or whatever, you chat on their page. And I was trying to get some technical answers because now, if you know me, you know that I have worked in manufacturing. And in my manufacturing days, I am aware of how things can change in your process. And outwardly, everything looks the same, but it's not because you've changed a component of your process. And I have a suspicion, and this is just a suspicion. I know at first I was thinking, well, maybe it was their varnish. And I double coated and also killsed it. Put kills on the top. And I still had the warping. So I'm thinking, well, matter of fact, even after I put the kills on it, I can't seem to talk and walk at the same time. Even once I put the kills on it, it was flat. So I'm thinking, great. The wet paint is on it. It's still flat. And it turned out and warped on me. Just making sure my tape is fully down here. So I have a suspicion. If you look at the IKEA Lazy Susans, let me get it again. If you look at this, the direction it's bowing is in these ends, these 2 ends. Those 2 ends bow. These cut parts of the board seem to be fine. It's always the bow in this direction on these 2 ends on the ones I've had problems with, which leads me to believe that there's a problem with their adhesion. The adhesive that they're using between the boards. Of course, I tried talking to somebody and asked if there's any way I can get a hold of their manufacturing, and of course they said there's no way. So I'm done with them, I think. Okay, first color here is Golden Phthalo Green, blue shade, with Pearl Sky Blue. And it's so upsetting. And other people have been reaching out to me asking me if I've had a problem. And really, I hadn't had a problem. And I almost feel like, you know, when somebody calls you, when somebody says at a sporting event, oh, he's had a no-hitter all game, and that's it. That's all it takes. Well, I feel like being made aware of it made me aware of it, and now I'm looking for it. And I think for me, what happened is I had still some older Lazy Susans from a prior purchase that were still fine. I think they may have changed their process more recently, and I still had older stuff to use. So the people that were buying it fresh were seeing it, and I wasn't seeing it yet. That's my theory. You know, I've done a lot of work. When I was in manufacturing and I was a quality manager, continuous improvement manager, I had to do a lot of thinking about things and, you know, what could possibly have gone wrong and this and that. That's what my conclusion is. That's my gold combination, 24 karat by Deco Art and iridescent gold by Golden. This gorgeous color is Benevolence from TLP. This is the color that was donated to the artists for the Hurricane Helene Direct Relief Fund, an auction. And we raised over $20,000 between the Fluidart Company donations and our contributions as artists and what went up for auction. Gorgeous color. And that color is like absolutely stunning when you pair it with this golden Payne's Gray combined with Artez's Payne's Gray. Just absolutely beautiful. I don't know why I'm out of breath. Why am I out of breath? Anyway. Yeah, so I was not happy with the response I got from IKEA. And it's too bad because they were the most economical, reliable source I could find. So this here, I didn't even talk about what I have here. This is a scalloped marble Lazy Susan. Now, this is not going to have warp because it's marble. And I didn't do anything to prepare it even, except for tape the back. So this, potentially, if it works, is going to save me trouble in terms of preparation with the 2 bumps of varnish and kills and whatever else I'm using. Hopefully it'll save me losses as well. Okay, this is still my Australian Floetrol cell activator recipe. Still from class. I call it Z for Aussie. So I'm trying to use this up, and I'm getting near the end. So I'll be making up fresh batches of cell activators soon. So, also, before I put the cell activator down, I'm going to use my Berta. This is a 1,000-watt Berta that I bought off Amazon to blow this out on cool and high. But I'm going to blow it out first with my mouth and see where we get. This is a 12-inch Lazy Susan, and I do have a larger one over there. I think it's 18 inches. No, 16 inches that I'm going to do if this works out. And I got these from the home goods store. Okay, so this is my white, titanium white Australian. This is my oxide black. There we go. Get it nice and close to lay down that cell activator. That's the white and the black. Okay. So if you've been watching me, you'll know that this is something I've just adopted doing more recently in the last few months, just blowing straight down into the cell activator on larger pieces, just to get the cell activator to start to spread out before I hit it with the hairdryer. So here I am getting on a step stool just to get a little better purchase and aim on the hairdryer. And I'm going to aim the blow dryer right at the ridge where the cell activator that I just blew out meets the paint. So I'm blowing the hairdryer right at that little ridge and then pushing that ridge of cell activator out over the paint and that paint out over the pillow. And I'm going to go all the way around here until I have it fully blown out in a full circle. Notice I don't go overboard, I just go just far enough here to the pillow. I need to get some more pillow down right there very quickly because I didn't put enough pillow down, evidently. It's gonna go off the edge anyway, but I'd like to keep the composition. Now, I've talked in other videos about the composition rolling over itself, and that's what happens when it gets to the edge and it has nowhere to go, so it just starts to roll over itself. So you put a little pillow down to give it somewhere to flow into. This is the best illustration I could have possibly given you, right there. Here's another one right there, ready to go. So I'm just gonna move some pillow paint over here, just so it has a place to flow to. Now, it's gonna go off the edge anyway, but it was just a great illustration right now, if you've been watching me. Okay, so while the middle is coming, let me blow the middle out a little bit. Let me get the cell activator to go a little bit. I got a little wonky right there. I have a little bit of a cold. That might be why I'm a little out of breath. Okay, let's stretch some of that pillow out some more. So what I'm doing here is I'm just stretching the pillow to the edges, or getting it going in that direction, so that the paint knows where I want it to go. And then I'm going to spin this out really slowly. What was that noise? That's weird. All right, let's get a little more pillow over here. Not sure I like this composition, but it'll work itself out as I stretch this. I'm going to skip past some of this. Okay, let's give it a little bit of a gentle spin. Gentle. And the nice thing about this is it's got a really pretty scalloped edge. Both the ones I bought have a pretty scalloped edge. It just makes it more of a challenge in terms of taping off the back. Oh, please work. I don't want to see another warped Lazy Susan. These colors are really pretty. Now, some people have said, man, what a waste this paint is, what you do here. You know, honestly, I recycle a lot of this stuff. Like right here, I've got a whole bunch of recycled in here. Just so you know, on the side here, what I do, I put a nylon on top, and I put the strainings into it and strained it into the cup, and I reuse it. Might play around with this one a little bit. I still have a little bit to go here. I probably don't even need to do this, but I am going to do it just to get it over the edge. And over here. It is a little bit different having this scalloped edge here. Now that I've got my other hand under here, I've got to be careful not to pick it up over the top of the piece. I don't want to spill paint on top. Always being aware of where your extra hand is. And that's something when I used to work in manufacturing, you always tell everybody, be aware of where your extra hand is. Like you really have an extra hand, but you don't want to have not an extra hand because you weren't aware of your other hand. I think that'll do it as far as stretching. As far as getting it to the edge, we're pretty much mostly over the edge. So I'll cut out some of the spinning. How are we looking? Okay. So let's just clean up the bottom a little bit and see where we are. I'm going to skip past some of the cleanup portion here on the bottom. All right, I'm going to play a little bit. I don't like this, and I think I need to put something through here. It wasn't very good. I think, you know what? Let's just take a look here. Take a breath and look. I think it actually looks pretty good. And if you haven't noticed about me, I am all about kind of a natural look if I can get away with it. Let's see where we are in the middle. Put it into the cell activator. That's how much we have left in the middle, which is really good. I think I'll give it one more spin and we'll call it done. I have no negative space on this because it is 12 inches and it's going to be hard to have negative space on something this small. Make sure my sides are covered. We all look good. Okay. I think I'm going to call this done. Okay, I'll get you an overhead in a second, and I'm pretty happy with this guy. Yay! Hopefully I won't have a warping problem. Okay, I'll be back for an overhead. So everyone, that's a wrap. Here are the wet results right afterward, and here are the final resin results to include the coasters I just did in the same color palette and the cutting board. I also have jars I might be sharing with you upcoming. So here she is finally resined, and this was much easier to resin than I thought, and the beautiful thing about this, there is no worry about warpage. Those cells and the lacing on this came out beautifully. This color palette is amazing. I recommend it to anybody. And once again, only 4 colors. So if you're new here and haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing, hitting the bell and all. You'll get all my latest art tutorials. A comment and a thumbs up is also appreciated. I get back to everybody. I'm also working up a video of how to calculate your resin mileage so you can figure out how much resin you'll need for your creations. And remember to check out my description. I have links to some of the products I use, to include a 10% discount code for KS Resin, which is my resin of choice. And at the end here, please be sure to check out the Lazy Susan playlist, where I have other creations and other color combinations you might want to check out. So that's all I've got for now, everybody. Take care till next time.